If you're gearing up for the Praxis, you know that written response section can feel like a total mystery. But what if I told you there's a simple, powerful strategy to turn that stress into a high score? Well, today we're going to break that down. Let's get right into it.
So, this is the big question, right? It keeps so many people up at night. You've done the work, you know the content, but when you're under that clock and you have to write it all out, something just doesn't click. Why is that? What's the missing piece of the puzzle? And there it is. That's the secret. The key isn't about cramming more facts into your brain. It's about showcasing what you know in a clear, organized, and totally convincing way. See, the people scoring your test aren't just looking for a correct answer. They're looking for proof that you can actually think and communicate like a teacher.
All right, so before we get into building the right habits, we have to figure out what's going wrong in the first place. Let's really dig into the common pitfalls that trip up even the smartest, most prepared candidates and lead to, those disappointing scores.
First things first, let's make sure we're on the same page. A constructed response question isn't your typical multiple choice. You have to literally construct or build your answer from scratch. This is your moment to really show off what you know, and more importantly, how you'd apply it in a real classroom.
Now, take a look at this list. At first glance, it looks like 4 separate problems, right? But here's the thing. They're all connected. Vague answers almost always lack specific evidence, and when your ideas feel disconnected, that's usually a dead giveaway for poor structure. These aren't 4 different issues. They're all symptoms of one single, bigger problem: not having a solid plan.
And that's exactly where we're going to start. You'd never build a house without a blueprint, right? So you should never, ever write a response without first decoding the prompt. This is, without a doubt, the most important step, and honestly, it's the one that people rush through all the time.
Think of this 3-step process as your secret weapon. First, what's the big idea here? Are they testing you on classroom management, reading comprehension? What is it? Second, find that action verb. Describe is a world away from compare or analyze. That verb tells you exactly what they want from you. And last, circle those key terms you absolutely have to talk about. This makes sure you answer the whole question, not just part of it.
Okay, once you've got your blueprint, it's time to gather your building materials. And for us, those materials are the evidence that's going to make your answer rock solid and convincing. So what actually counts as evidence?
So what does evidence even mean in this context? It's not like you're citing a research paper. It's about using the professional language of teaching. Instead of saying something generic like help students learn, you need to be using specific terms from pedagogy. It's all about showing that you can connect that high-level educational theory to what actually goes down in a classroom. And this slide, this just says it all. The weak answer on the left, it's not wrong, it's just kind of vague. Differentiation is a huge umbrella term. But look at the strong answer. It names a specific technique, scaffolding, and gives a concrete tool, a graphic organizer. That is an answer that's going to get you points.
This table really sums it up perfectly. Our goal is to move from the left column over to the right. It's just not enough to state what you would do. You have to explain the how and the why, and you gotta use that specific, professional language to show you actually understand the theory behind your actions.
All right, you've decoded the prompt, you gathered your evidence. Now for the magic ingredient, a simple, repeatable framework that's going to organize your thoughts and make sure you hit every single scoring point every single time. And here it is, 4 easy steps: a main claim, a supporting explanation, a classroom example, and a final justification. Think of this as your recipe for a perfect response. Let's break down each one.
First up, your main claim. This should be the very first sentence you write. No long intro, no fluff. Just get straight to the point and answer the question directly. State your thesis clearly and confidently right from the get-go.
Next up is your supporting explanation. This is where you bring in all that juicy evidence we just talked about. You've made your claim, now you explain the educational theory behind it. Why does this approach work? This is your chance to drop those specific pedagogy terms and show what you know. Now this part is so important. Specificity is everything here. Your classroom example has to be concrete. Don't just talk about the theory, describe a real activity. What would you and the students actually be doing? What materials are you using? Paint a clear picture so the scorer can see you know how to put theory into practice. And finally, the justification. This is the step that a lot of people forget, but it ties everything together. You need to explicitly state why your approach is good for students. How does this strategy support their learning and lead to success? This is the so what of your entire answer. And that's the whole framework: claim, explanation, example, and justification. So let's wrap this all up. Here is a super simple action plan you can take with you on test day.
This is your checklist for success. Before you write a single word of your response, just run through these steps in your head. Decode that prompt, brainstorm your evidence, outline your 4 parts, and remember to always, always focus on how this benefits the student.
And listen, this isn't an exaggeration at all. The constructed response section carries a lot of weight. By shifting from those vague, unstructured answers to clear, evidence-based ones, you're targeting a huge chunk of potential points. It's a total game changer.
See, this whole thing isn't about memorizing more facts. It's about having a system, a strategy you can lean on when you're under pressure. With this framework, you've got that system. Now you're in control. I really hope this breakdown helped you out. If you're looking for more clear, practical strategies to help you absolutely crush your teacher certification exams, make sure you subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.